The Brahms double concerto is not a normal concerto, as it were, not only because it has two soloists rather than one, but it is really like a symphony with two solo instruments.
The writing is very unusual because Brahms actually wanted to write this concerto for one instrument and basically expanded it so that you would have the high of the violin and the low of the cello.
It is a complicated piece that requires all the participants to have one view of it, one concept of it. It's, instead of a concerto, it's more like a symphony. So you not only have to have two instrumentalists that really can see eye to eye and play well together and listen for each other, there has to be someone who sets the concept, and in this case, it's Daniel, who conducts it as a symphonic work.
Well, the chemistry between Yo-Yo Ma and Daniel and myself is, again, is a very natural one. Of course, the thread that connects us all is the music. And to play with two colleagues who, first of all, are so facile at what they do. Barenboim as a conductor and Yo-Yo as a most wonderful cellist, for me gives me just a great thrill and gives me the opportunity to basically concentrate on the music.
This banter, it's happens, I think, not because we're not serious people, but rather it allows us to be serious at the right moment when we need to be. All this cajoling actually gets a lot of work done in the best of circumstances. This is, I think, not just happening with us. You can see it happening with orchestra members. There's this kind of, people become alive when the tone is set.
Everything is possible, and of course we have a wonderful time trying to put the piece together.
This is why it is very difficult to find the right soloist for this, because either you have great soloists, great stars, who do not have the discipline to integrate in the orchestra, which is absolutely essential in this piece, or you have musicians from the orchestra who are very disciplined and but don't have quite the freedom of expression of soloists. I mean, this, of course, is a generalization, but this is the main difficulty. And I think that in Yo-Yo Ma and Itzhak Perlman, we were very lucky to find two players who are great soloists, who have great individual personalities, but yet are experienced chamber music players, and therefore have the ability to integrate themselves and go in and out of the orchestra.
It's hard to do because not everybody always agrees with one another, but in this case, I think the thoughts behind the music are very powerful. They are very, I'd say, they're irresistible, and somehow we all get into that flow, and hopefully something good happens.
The Brahms double is not a piece that I have actually done very often. I did it once in the 60s and then the second time about 20 years ago.
He has played with so few cellists since Jackie's illness, so to have been one of the few people that he's been willing to work with on this music that he obviously feels very, very deeply about, I think is a great privilege.
He speaks the language of music in a very simple and logical way. And as a result, whenever he talks about music or whenever he plays music or conducts music, it's so logical, it's so right. And for me, that is a quality that I just love. And whenever I play chamber music with him, I relish it. And of course, I learned so much from him because he's such an amazing teacher, whether he tries to teach or by example. So that I always feel that it's something that I always gain from musically, besides the pleasure of two friends making music together.
And it's a very rare and satisfying exception when you find two people where everything fits and where there is the artistic respect and admiration and also the personal friendship. I've known Itzhak Perlman for many, many, many years. In fact, we were practically neighbors in Tel Aviv, only then we didn't know each other.
I think it was in 1965 or 67. And of course, he was at that time organizing a wonderful festival in London called the South Bank Festival. And immediately said, why don't you come and play? And that's when our friendship really started very, very seriously, our musical friendship.
Yo-Yo, I met much later. He's younger also. Therefore, I don't have such a long history with him, but I felt from the very first instance that we made music together some years ago already, that I had in him a soulmate.
There's something in him that is just ignited by life and his surroundings. For example, in rehearsals, he's able to get everything he wants done without ever talking down to somebody or being nasty to anybody.
I must say that I have never quite heard the orchestra part performed in such an outstanding way.
He actually cajoles or seduces people into doing all the things. He's very pushy with getting his ideas through.
Because you see some bowings that have never been used before in this kind of a performance, which he asked the orchestra, and of course not every orchestra could play such bowing unless it's of the quality of the Chicago Symphony.